Continuing our garden tour, main entrance of the garden, coming from the southwest. We have our irrigation box here, and inside the irrigation box is our computer. And this is our computer right here. It handles 4 valves, 3 of which are right here. And it keeps our garden nice and watered throughout the year. Here we have one long bed that is now coming up in both calendula and sunflower, as well as hollyhocks. And then the taller plants to the right of it are fava beans. Fava beans are also called broad beans. And these guys are now setting fruit. You can see down here the lovely blossoms. It will soon be nice long broad beans. This is the lower tier of the garden, which is still under some development. Then we have some beds that have just recently been planted with squash and lettuce, along with arugula in this bed. We had red Russian kale on the outer side of this bed, along with a wonderful inner layer of yellow Swiss chard. Here we have beets, about 2 or 3 different kinds of beets, including Chioggia. This bed right here has just been recently planted with Florence fennel on this inner, with the outer portion being carrots. The carrots are just now starting to come up on this one. We have been getting from this lovely bed both spinach and a wonderful selection of French heirloom variety lettuces, Rouge de Vert and Merveille de 4 à 500, winter red and Marvel 4 season. On this side, we have garlic, and that garlic's been there since October of last year. It takes until June before we can harvest it. Just yesterday, under a threat of potential frost, I went ahead and covered this bed, which has been planted in both pole beans and bush beans. And we have a lovely carrot bed coming up right here. This bed has already gone to seed. Mizuna is in the center with yellow seed, yellow flowers, which are now providing the bees with forage. And you can see them at work here. Here comes one right there. I just harvested 4 frames of honey and got about 7 pounds of wonderful biodynamically sourced honey. So this bed will be here long enough for the bees to get some feed off of the flowers. Much of the Mizuna here that has gone to flower is also now seeding out. So I may go ahead and harvest some of the seed from that before we take out the green material from this bed and then layer it over in our compost area. This next bed is one of a mix of beets, and we'll be harvesting from this one very soon. Now we're getting into an area of unclaimed, undeveloped beds that are destined for the process that we're going through of taking out the Bermuda grass, which is a plague here. It's a process that's ongoing, where we sift out their roots and try to get them thoroughly eradicated. And now past those beds we have this lovely area of growth that has potatoes in it. We have 3 different kinds of potatoes. We have a Yukon Gold, a blue potato, and also a rose, Colorado rose potato. And we have peas, lovely, lovely peas, all growing along this fence support. And on the other side of it, the path, we have another area of fencing that also has this imaginative support made out of the frames, wire frames of bedding. And this is a wonderful support for the peas that are up and coming. And you can see them right there popping their little heads up. And there you have the complete tour of the garden, with the possible exception of